19 suicides by students this year in
And a
Kota.
17-year-old
All of them
preparing
preparing for the
entrance
IIT
exams.
exams.
We are discussing why in the
suicides
first
in
5
just
days
5 days
Technology
has the
Institute
city
of
honors
Technology
nearly
at
2 lakhs,
Mainly
mainly from Delhi and Bihar.
A medical aspirant girl allegedly committed suicide in Rajasthan's Kota city by slitting her throat. A probe is on in this regard.
डेड बॉडी को MBS में रखवा दिया, मृतक के परिजनों को सूचना दी थी, परिजन आने पे पोस्टमार्टम। अभी प्रारंभिक कोई जानकारी सामने नहीं है, इससे जारी जारी है।
Hailing from Bihar's Munger, the girl was studying at a private coaching center in the city. Correspondent Yogesh.
So, isn't it enough to provide you all with substantial evidence to prove that mental health conditions do exist among people? And if we still tend to shun away this, when are we actually going to take an action towards it? Over the years, educational institutions have been trying to promote awareness about mental health well-being among the student community, as in contemporary times, young people are found much more prone to such issues because of academic stress, performance pressure, personal issues, and many more. However, even after the spread of awareness among the youth, they feel reluctant to share and communicate. Let us now find out about the problems that the students generally face from the campus of Tezpur University with the help of the visiting counselor, Dr. Ashish Pratim Bora.
There would be a lot of issues, but then two common problems which I've seen is difficulty in academics, probably in PhD, in master's level, and then secondly would be relationship issues are major concerns which I see here. Somebody or the other is actually feeling difficult to manage their academics, or probably is having a difficulty keeping their grades up, or probably they having difficulty in managing their emotions and relationships. So if you could say that academics and relationships are two major concerns with which students come to me at the moment. I've seen in Tezpur, if I have to say, a lot of students who come to me, they don't want to tell their parents that they're going through something, because they feel that they'll be judged by their parents, or probably they'll stop their education, or probably think that they are going insane or whatever. But then this is not the issue, because illness, be it physical or mental, because if you say that mental illness, which is something very invisible for the world, you will suppose your parents will see if there is a skin condition. You develop acne, your parents will see it. But then what about the fact that you're sad, you're probably anxious, you shake when you have to go out, you're having a panic attack? Your parents will think that you're overthinking, but they will not see the actual illness. So this is what difficulty is, because their parents also don't accept, because there's a stereotype. There's nothing called mental illness.
To investigate more on to find out about the arising problems, we visited one of the renowned institutes of mental health of India, the Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi Regional Institute of Mental Health, Tezpur, Assam, where it provides a safe space and a unique way to deal with the problems related to our mental health apart from the OPD. And the space is called the Youth Wellness Hub, where they provide a platform for the younger generation to encourage and make them participate in various communication activities for their holistic wellness.
Well, we never thought that we will have something like Youth Wellness Hub till 2018, when on 10th of October, which is World Mental Health Day, that year the theme was Youth and Their Mental Health in a Changing World. We went out in Tezpur town, we reached out to schools and colleges to understand how the young people are doing mental health wise, and we realized that there is a need for young people to talk about mental health, to seek out help for some of them who needs mental health support and treatment, and for many people who are not suffering majorly but has some distress, a space to talk about, share. And that's where an idea of a different kind of space, not our OPD space, which is already there, but a different kind of space which focuses more on wellness or well-being, because this wellness and well-being is a common experience for young people. So and they're open to talking about that, sharing about that. That can be an entry point. So how to start talking or conversing about mental health? We realized wellness or a space like Youth Wellness Hub can be helpful.
We even met one of the facilitators of the hub to discuss further about the solution they provide.
So, to communicate, what we need to provide is a safe space, a space where one feels non-judgmental, one feels that they are safe to share whatever they want. So that is the space which we try to create over here. And there are different activities which facilitates communication. So like communication did not always be somewhere one needs to speak it out. It can be non-verbal, it can be through different forms. So in Youth Wellness Hub, like we try to identify the different forms of communication. One such activity which we had is the human library, where people share their stories of their life, aspects of the chapters of their life which have changed themselves, and it is also inspiring for the one who is listening to them. And apart from that, we have these art activities where we call it a creative documentation basically. So we do it with our youth visitors when they come to visit us. So we make them sit in a round, and there is a thread that we give to each individual to hold. So when every individual is holding the thread, so we place the thread on a paper and everyone gets their own island, and in each island they can draw whatever they want. And it's like a collage, and the end result turns out to be beautiful. So it also says that communication can be through art. And there is another activity which we call the healing forest walk, or connecting with nature, because nowadays, because of our lifestyle or because of so many other reasons, we all love to be with nature, but somewhere we tend to stay away from it, or we cannot experience it wholeheartedly. So one such activity is healing forest walk, or communicating with nature.
The Youth Wellness Hub enables the youth visitors to participate by facilitating numerous interactive sessions such as interpersonal communication, film screening, discussion, and lecture sessions, which they find as one of the effective strategies and ways through which they can encourage young people to actually speak and communicate for holistic wellness. Because it is communication which is one of the greatest solutions to provide assistance to mental health condition. And this has been further discussed by Dr. Deeptaroop Chaudhary.
Oh, communication is the essence of treatment of mental health. We need to understand somebody who is in distress, who is suffering. And sometimes when somebody is really in distress and suffering, communication is not the most important thing or the necessity of that person, because that person is dealing a lot within himself, herself, or themselves. So how to connect to that person, how to understand that person, and also make that other person understood that I am there as a professional, or I am there as a friend and a colleague, I am there as a peer, to be there to listen to you and to provide support.
In order to understand the importance of communication in reducing mental health issues, another solution has been provided by one of the students of Tezpur University, whose life has changed after seeking therapy, and she encourages the same.
One fact is that you will never know if you need therapy or not. But at the same time, I feel like people of our generation do need therapy at one point because of our really undisciplined lifestyle and a lot of choices also, the things that we do. My story with therapy is pretty funny because I was recommended therapy by my mother. She was the one who took me to a therapist, and I know a lot of people can't even imagine. For them this is a big deal, their parents taking them to therapy.
She now discusses about how therapy has been useful to her.
My therapist, she's God for me. She has helped me so much, just clearing my thoughts. Like, you're thinking too much, there are too many thoughts going in your head, separate them, think each of them individually and you will find the way, and I followed that. Another thing she has told me to practice was mindfulness. I used to think mindfulness is very tough, and she told me that don't go looking for big things to do mindfulness. While you are eating your food, chew every bite of that as if you are focused only on that thing. That is how I started practicing mindfulness when I was struggling to concentrate in things. And honestly, I think it works.
Pranita also further discusses about how she tackles when in distress.
Whenever I am not in my best mental place, I stop reading. So I try to make myself get into reading again. I push myself. Once I get the flow, I keep reading. It helps. I love walking. I love a lot of green places where I can walk, where you will get fresh air, where you can just stand and do nothing. Just stand and exist. I think when you are struggling with your mental health, even doing a little exercises, that impacts you a lot. I just stand near probably a water body and just, breathe and just think. Not much, I just think and I just try to be grateful. I practice a little bit of gratefulness and that time that thanks to me that I have survived a lot in the past, or thanks to me right now in this moment I'm not giving up. I'm struggling, but at the same time I'm striving.
Again, Dr. Ashish Pratim Bora provides a piece of advice to students about how and whom people should approach if they are suffering from any mental health condition.
Feel that you are facing a certain issue, maybe anxiety, depression, low moods, or probably you think that you're getting dependent on a substance or probably difficulty concentrating, please keep track of how long the problem has been. And if it's difficult for you to manage, talk to your parents if you have to. If they don't understand, or probably it's difficult to reach the clinical psychologist or whatever, talk to a doctor nearby, or probably talk to somebody who will be able to guide you better.
The idea of popularizing mental health should start by building a network of support which is believed to be important in recent times. Network of support can be built among friends, peers, guardian, parents and teachers where people can rely on. We strongly believe that listening and sharing should go hand in hand, and thus it is a lesson for all to create an environment where people can feel safe to communicate and also listen to them, leaving aside judgment and providing acceptance.